be preparing. I
Got
bet
it.
it's on. You
Going
good?
on.
Okay. Awesome. Hey, everyone. Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here from Influence Builder. And I have one of the amazing co-founders of Elify. We have Guy Tuell here. We are missing him for sure. He's just taking a couple days off. He'll be back next week to really rev us up. So, but we really appreciate you guys coming in and watching us on the replay. And I have to say, today is definitely one of my favorite topics, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and Elify, the brand that we're featuring, before we
Awesome.
move on.
Will do. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime we get pulled into lives or conversations, it's something we always enjoy. As Danielle had mentioned, my name's Guy Tuell. I'm one of the co-founders over here at Elify. And what is Elify? We're basically a community of like-minded individuals. And we know that there's a path to success, and why we created this business many years ago was we knew there's a path and that there's a journey, but we also know that there's a map. And how can we provide a map? And we believe that through some technologies that we provide, there is that map. Our community is focused on empowering. We do some think tank, a lot of innovation. We utilize the technology that we've created and have made available to achieve some of these things. The systems that were developed can be worked within the community. That if you have discussions on how to's and what to's and goals, everyone has a dream, and they hope, they wish, they pray, whatever it is, but you have to be able to take action. And when creating a technology, we wanted to make sure that we brought something together that allowed people to take the action in empowering themselves, getting their message out. That's the topic we'll be chatting on, is getting the message out so it's relevant to them, but also relevant to whoever they're sharing the information with. So we just wanted to make something that people can work smarter. It's not complicated. And we wanted to be able to empower everyone to utilize a solution like this within a community that's really focused on your marketing efforts, your networking, and your referring.
So good. And it really is an amazing application, the shuffle application. You guys have a couple of other product suites that are amazing too. And simple is, I mean, that's the word I would use to describe it. Yeah, it's very simple, very simple. And yeah, it's the thing that I love about like the virtual cards that you guys have. They can be a virtual card where it's contact information, but it can also be like a one pager, like a landing page that can move you to other places, which I love using it for. Because I communicate through funnels. So it makes it a lot easier just to send them right in and have people decide and filter that way. So I love that feature. And then there's a whole bunch of other features. I don't even think we've gotten into everything that we can do with it. We'll get there. We'll get
Right.
there. But coming back to the topic at hand is messaging.
Mhm.
So it's one of the things that will attract or repel people immediately. So I actually think that messaging is more important than the aesthetics when it comes to anything online.
Definitely. When you're talking about your messaging, that's going to be what's going to do that attraction marketing. Whatever you're going to be able to curate to, whether it's video, whether it's text, whatever it is, you've got to be able to convey a message of conviction that whatever you're sharing is something that you solely believe in. We all have a likeness. I think likeness is another hot topic that
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably more aware of from the from the athletic background in college athletics and NCAA right now. There's a likeness happening
Mm-hmm.
where kids are now getting paid for amateur sports. And it's a little bit different when ER and I had the opportunity to be at a collegiate level in athletics.
Mm-hmm.
That when taking it to business, your likeness is going to be based on, you either have a service to provide, you've got a product that you represent, or maybe even an opportunity to present.
Mm-hmm.
But the likeness is how do I represent each one of these? And being
Mm-hmm.
able to convey the message that's appealing enough to drive potential eyeballs or customers or clients. You know, once you get that message out there and you start getting attraction, then it's your opportunity to share your story, to build the authentic relationship how it is intended to be. But your
Mm-hmm.
message is probably one of the most important things to have in place,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to convey it in a way that's a conviction of you, that you've put
Yeah.
in the time, you've committed the whatever level it is, that's what you want to represent you.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So when you talk about likeness, can you give me an example between the amateurs and then you and ER at the collegiate level? What can just so I have a comparison?
You know, a likeness is really your name,
Yeah.
your number, whatever jersey number you're wearing. And
Yeah.
back when we were playing, you know, universities, or they would sell them online, they would sell your jerseys, and your jerseys had your name.
Oh,
And who
yeah.
made money? The
Yeah.
university did.
Yeah.
Now they're saying, okay, well, there's a percentage here of jersey sales. Maybe they're not selling everyone's, but they're going to divide it out between all the athletes in that sport. Compared to
Oh.
a professional athlete, they're getting paid for their performance and what they can do, and their level of athleticism or
Mm-hmm.
capabilities that they can do within that sport.
Mm-hmm.
And collegiate athletes weren't ever able to do that. Yet you're probably one of the main revenue drivers to a university. and
Wow.
and so that's a big thing that's really happening right now, is that likeness. And that's why you're seeing some
Huh.
recruiting really picking up, from the aspect of kids are almost getting paid to come to schools now. And
Mm-hmm.
if your school is more affluent, there's a possibility you're drawing in higher quality.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that. All right, so now I gotta know. What was your number?
My number was 29.
Was it 29? What was the R's number?
Yeah, you know, he was often, and it was anywhere from 50 to 79 was
Oh, okay. I was
was
gonna say he's gonna be like 50 something. I was just, yeah.
50s, 60s, or 70s. So
Yep.
that's where his number was.
I think we're just basing it on his height, right?
Exactly.
He's
I think
tall. He's
that's a
tall.
funny thing, is a lot of people, when we have opportunity to meet people in person. We did an event last year, and
Yep.
we both walked in, and people were like, "Whoa, you guys are much taller than we expected."
These are
We're
big dudes.
like,
I know. I think I'm actually gonna have to look up the ER too. He said he's pretty tall. He's 6'5",
6'5", 6'6", right in there.
That's
Yeah.
tall. Yep. Even I'm gonna be. Even I'm gonna, and I'm tall. So, but you guys are tall. You guys are tall guys. Okay. So we've got messaging. We've got conviction. So one of the things that because I do a lot of messaging, influencer messaging, and you're right, you do have to have kind of that force behind it. And that's really hard to do if you're not attached to what it is that you're saying, or there's not the knowledge base behind what you're saying, or um the authenticity. So when it comes to being super authentic, people usually don't know where to start. They don't know what they know, and they don't know what they believe when they're asked on command, is kind of what I've found. So it's usually going back to, well, what are your core values? And I usually start with, like, what are just your top 5? Like, and there's a whole list of core values. You guys can look them up online, and like they have all these different ones. But you can tell pretty quickly what people's core values are when you read their messaging, and you're probably already saying it. You're probably already telling us exactly what your core values are when you write something or when you speak something. I will say that for you and ER, integrity is one of them.
Do this. I'd say
Hmm.
that's probably our number one, is we want to make sure that whatever we do it with integrity.
Yep.
You know, I think the other ones, you said 5. I've got 6 on
Yeah.
my that are tattooed on my arm. So
Yeah.
with the people can always, they always ask me, what does your tattoo say? Well, those are my core values. It's all about my family, faith, hope, believe, love, and dream.
Yep.
And every one of those elements I think about every day to drive me forward. If it's going to be in a conversation,
Yep.
if I'm curating an email or starting to do some content, I've got to have those types of things in place. And obviously integrity is a
Yeah.
huge
Oh yeah.
that we, I think from day one, we wanted to make sure that that's a type of business we run.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you guys can see, I mean, Guy's giving you guys a perfect example of how you use your core values in your messaging every single day. In fact, when choosing where to go with your business, it always gets to come back to core values. So, I mean, family is my top one. Love, I have to love what I'm doing. I just have to. If I don't love it, and you're going to be able to see it on my face, like, oh, really? I'll do this again. I can't do it, and it has to be fun. And so the love and the fun kind of go together. When I love things, I have fun with them. But if I'm not having a good time, then it's not conducive to what I want to, where I want to move things and where I want to put my energy. So those are definitely my top three. And integrity is one, and then success. So, and when I say success, I don't mean my success. It's usually everyone has to be having some success within what it is we're doing. If it's like a partnership like this, if it's in my company with my team, and then the audience of, and that's why I talk about the triple win. Like I always look for the triple win. It's part of my core value of success. So,
Right?
um, and then my content reflects that. Any messaging that I put out there, this just rolls off my tongue. It's not because I memorized it, although I could. It's just because it's natural. It's very natural to me.
It's become just part of you. That's what you
Yeah.
do. I think four words that come to mind, that I was reading a book the other day and I had written them down. Four words of successful individuals
Hmm.
is a little bit more. They
Hmm.
just do a little bit more.
Yeah.
They do maybe the bare minimum, but then they do a little bit more, or do they do the max? And that's when you get to the level of success that a lot of people are reaching for, is the ones that are doing everything
Hmm.
and a little bit more. They're the ones that have burned the boat, per
Hmm.
se. That they are all in. So when it comes to messaging, it flows. It's I am so ingrained with the integrity that we want to make sure that we're providing here within the community and the network and the platform that's available, that we're going to do what's right at all times for everyone. And success is something we're all seeking, right?
Hmm.
It's success. I think you can take it one step further to significance. You want to be able to maybe be significant or leave a legacy. And the only way to do some of those things is by burning the boat and
Hmm.
doing a little bit more. I
Hmm.
was listening. There's a great inspirational speaker, Eric Thomas, who was talking about a story
Hmm.
of someone went to their mentor who was successful in everything they ever did. And he's like,
Hmm.
I want you to teach me to be successful and what to do. And the story just goes that the mentor was, okay, meet me at 4 a.m. at the beach,
Hmm.
and I'll give you the lesson on being successful.
Hmm.
Like 4 a.m. His alarm clock goes off at 3:30,
Hmm.
and he is about ready to hit snooze. And he's like, no, I got to go learn this lesson.
Hmm.
He gets there, gets to the beach. He's like, get in the water. Goes out in the water.
Yep.
Mentor comes out, puts his hands on his shoulder and holds him underwater. And he's
Hmm.
fighting. He's fighting for breath.
Hmm.
He's kicking, punching, scratching, whatever it takes. And he
Hmm.
finally breaks loose, and he's drawing his breath and was like, what was that for? And he's like, I think you have learned the lesson.
Hmm.
To be successful, you have to want it as much as you wanted to breathe. Right there, you wanted to fight to breathe.
Hmm.
So to be successful is one of those things that you've got to fight for it. You've got to know that it's attainable.
Hmm.
There's two primary choices we also get to have in our lives,
Hmm.
is we get to accept the conditions that we're in,
Mm-hmm.
or we accept responsibility and we make the change. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a lot of it is with my story, I'm going to make sure that I'm making that change. I'm deeming that there can be success. And that's what we love about this community is just
Mm-hmm.
being able to show that there is that map, that there is a way. There's no real secret way of doing things. It's
Mm-hmm.
just learn from others that have been successful,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be as well if you follow those steps.
Yeah. I love that you shared that story, and I knew exactly where it was going to go when we said the ocean. I'm like, oh, he's going to dunk him under and hold him there. I haven't heard the story, but I kind of, I kind
Mhm.
of knew where that was going, and I want to piggyback off of that a little bit too, since we're going and talking about success and that everybody, when you're measuring your success, a lot of times it's like a finished product that people are measuring success with, and then you're successful every day that you get up and do what it is that you want to do, even if you're not where you want to be. It's the process. So you fall in love with the process, the outcomes happen. But it's your success isn't measured by the outcome. Your success is measured by the willingness to jump in. And you
Absolutely.
know,
Journey.
yeah,
Being
yeah,
willing to do it.
right. Because if you didn't, and some people are like, well, do I want it enough? If I wanted this to happen, wouldn't I have it by now, or wouldn't I be closer? And one of my clients told me this week. So she's always right on. I mention her a lot because when we talk, it's something that I end up using later. And she said she can't remember I don't remember exactly what book she read it from, but it was really good for anyone who's maybe in this spot. And I've talked with people and they feel like they're in this spot when it comes to success. Um, and it's you you wouldn't be still doing what it is that you want to do if you didn't think you were going to be successful in the end. You wouldn't get
Absolutely.
up and do it every day.
Absolutely. We talk about it quite often that there's three levels to it in your beliefs
Mhm.
is you have to know that there's a treasure, a goal, success is attainable. You have to know that you can find it and you can do it. And
Mhm.
then you have to believe that it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the most important things is believing that it's going to be worth it to go towards um, the success through the journey, knowing that there's going to be hurdles and bumps along the way. But the only time you see obstacles is when you take your eyes off of those goals.
Mhm.
There's ways through different types of things. The success of what
Mhm.
Elify is that I love is when we can't count the number of
Mhm.
individuals that we helped reach success. And that's what, like, that is an ultimate goal for
Mhm.
us over here at Elify. You know, and how many is that? That's into millions of people that we're here saying, "Hey, look at us. There's a solution. There's a process. There's a system that can help. That can be that crutch. That can be the wheel that helps you move forward towards success and be that crutch in your journey."
Yeah, that's a really good point. So we're going a little deep into what the messaging is, but really, guys, it does start with those core values, and it does start with kind of a different perspective than what we're taught these days when it comes to our messaging, when it comes to what keeps us moving forward. But I mean, I think you and I both agree it always starts there. Even if we're down in the dumps, I mean, it's great that you have it tattooed to your arm. Man, now I'm starting to think maybe I should do that so I can just look at it like, oh, okay, here we are again. All right, I'm back up. I got my core values. I've got it going in my head, so we're good. But yeah, I think that that is a big part of messaging. And then, once you guys have that piece down, once you know, because it's knowing yourself, and when you know yourself, it's I, it's much easier to take yourself out of the equation when you are writing messaging for other people.
Absolutely.
I don't know how else to say that. Well, actually, I think they call it differentiation, and that's like in psychology they call it differentiation. It's like you know yourself, you work on yourself, and I call it inner influence. It's just knowing yourself so that when it comes time to think about where your ideal client is in their process and their journey, it's so much easier to take what you think they need out of that equation and just write to them and where they are and what's going to get them to that next step. It's
Definitely.
definitely hard to do. Yeah.
And then I think that you've got your message.
Mm-hmm.
One of the hurdles that people see is getting it out there.
Yeah.
And that's when you just have to believe in it enough that you share it once, you share it twice, a dozen times, until the point where you can either get feedback and
Mm-hmm.
adjust your message,
Mm-hmm.
or you're confident enough in knowing that this is going to resonate and I can just start sharing it with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because are we going to be labeled as the crazy people that want success for other people?
I
Fine.
hope so.
If you don't want to be successful, stay away. That's what it
Yeah.
will be.
Both can work. Both will work in their own ways. It just depends on, but I mean the crazy ones, right? I mean um there's an Apple presentation out about being the crazy ones, being the ones that think different. I mean,
It's what we
this is
do.
how, yeah,
We,
it's
we,
that piece.
we think different. What was the one that if everyone acted or did as if they believed,
Hmm.
it'd be a whole different world. Like
Absolutely.
if you actually walk the talk,
Hmm.
if everyone walked the talk, it would be a whole different world. I mean, there wouldn't be. I can't say there wouldn't be, but there would be less of a social conflicts and all different kinds of things happening if
Hmm.
everyone acted as you should or did as you should.
Hmm. Yeah. So yes, and to add to what you're saying, there's an embodiment where you say things, but you believe it. Like it's like you're saying, it's to the core of you. And so because it's to the core of you, like a core value, you can't help but take the actions that you believe in. You
Mhm.
can't help but say the things that you believe in. You can't help but create the messaging that you believe in. And these are some of the most powerful tools of attraction and bringing people in who are like-minded because they can tell. They may not be able to articulate what it is that they can see and hear. They just have a feeling. And so they come in and they listen like, yeah, I agree. So everything you're saying, the people who are like-minded be like, I totally agree. I understand what he's saying. And it also takes care of the getting it out there and being seen and visible. Well, the more authentic you are, the more you believe in it, the more conviction you have behind it, the more people will turn their heads towards you.
Definitely.
It's something that's, yes, you can see it, yes, you can hear it, yes, you can read it. But there's another piece that you can't. It's an intangible. But we often wonder like what makes a thought leader a thought leader? What makes an influencer influential? Sometimes it's the intangible that does. So everything you're saying does have to do with that messaging. It does have to do with how we build our businesses and how we get our businesses out there and how we attract in the right people at the right time. um, this is how you start, but yet nobody talks about it.
No one talks
Because-
about it. I think we've talked about it from that gut feeling type thing.
yeah.
Like your gut. To me, I was always told, follow your gut, follow your
Hmm.
gut instincts.
Hmm.
There's something to that in moving a message, in moving your thoughts in a certain direction. You already know what to do. You already know what to say. It's just removing the fears, if that's what it is.
Yeah.
Moving those obstacles out of the way and
Hmm.
becoming strong enough to know I can accomplish this. I can take
Hmm.
that step moving forward.
Hmm. I love that. So knowing yourself well enough to know that you're going to be okay no matter what. Um,
And to know that you
this is
want
a,
success.
and you
you
want
you,
to.
you want that message, you want it out there. And I think that's what we love about our communities is
Hmm.
we know with everything in us, anyone can be successful.
Hmm.
And then bringing them into the fold and empowering them to be
Hmm.
successful with whether it's technology or just coming to the community and having conversations. of saying, hey, here's something I'm struggling on a little bit today.
Yep.
Can I get some inspiration or something where I can motivate myself moving forward? That's what we do, but we
Yep.
can't do it for you. From
Right.
the instance of your message is your message.
Yep.
I can't write your message for you. I can only give you what mine is, and what ours as a community is. And we know you can be successful, but you have to know that you can
Hmm.
more than I know you can. You've got to move this forward, because we would set on meetings all day, every day, if that's what it took
Hmm.
to help people. But
Hmm.
sometimes people have to want to help themselves enough
Hmm.
in the messaging, in their stories, that they've got to have enough conviction to be able to get that out there.
Yep. Yeah. And like the fear, we all have fears. um, Leaning into them is another way of being successful. As much as people are like, well, I shouldn't have them in the first place. I'm like, oh no, no, no. I don't think they're actually a bad thing. I mean,
Right. Acknowledge
you,
your fears.
yeah. I mean, ER and I talk about one of our big fears, which happens to be the same thing. We are afraid of speaking in the stage, and we lean into it. I mean, we're on here doing this. It gets easier for sure, but it's the willingness to lean into the fear. Because underneath it there is a knowing. I'm gonna be all right. I'm not gonna I may feel like anxiety right now, but I'm gonna be all right. And then that piece, I can go into your messaging. I talk about it all the time or speak about it where I'm like, yeah, you think I'm good at speaking? Man, you should have seen me when I started. I barely got out here because I really had a hard time. It was not easy to even come onto a live stream like this and interview other people. Um, but I leaned in because I knew that there was a message that I needed to say, and I was the one to say it, and I was the only one that was going to say it the way I was going to say it.
Mhm.
And everyone has that. I know it's something people say a lot, but we are all like snowflakes. We're all different, and it's not just that we look different or we speak different. It's that our experiences are different, the way we've molded from our experiences and our backgrounds. That's where our messaging can really come from, and that's really authentic to us and how we believe and how we see things. So, I mean, it really is doing a disservice to everyone else for not showcasing that authentically.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Your message is yours. There's no one that's going to do it for you. Um, or no one's going to do it at all. If you don't portray and get your message out there, like I said, from the likeness aspect, it's a brand. We're individuals. We've got businesses, we've got products, we've got services, opportunities. The
mhm,
only way that message is going to get out there is if we do it ourselves. No
yeah.
one's going to save us, but there is systems in place, a
Hmm.
community in place that can support. I think that's one of the things we love about it, is being able to support and saying, there's a map.
Yeah.
There's a way you can get your information out to others. You curate
Hmm.
it, you create it, you share it.
Yep.
And then you do what a normal process would be. You,
Hmm.
with the intention of, I'm sharing it, I'm building relationships, I'm following up, I'm
Hmm.
growing, I'm bringing people into the fold, saying, you can also do it. And we're
Hmm.
working together to achieve the success we're all looking for.
Yeah. So to kind of even take it that step further, so what Guy is inviting you guys to do is to come into Elify, the community, and with the support, there's also an amplification. So we come in as the individual and we get seen and heard when we become part of a community. That's what a community does, is that it offers that support, and then that's what can amplify us. And there's a lot of way to amplify, right? I mean, it's the word of mouth that can amplify. It's the support. It's the thing that you need that morning or that week, that keeps you going so that you keep getting your message out there. It's a simple sharing of a virtual card or making those connections within a like-minded community. And so everybody's liking and sharing your cards. I mean, that's where it's heading for online marketing. We need our communities to help us amplify. We can't do it alone anymore because there's so many of us online. And we absolutely are individuals, and it takes a lot of individual minds for one community. And underneath all of that is the core values and a shared core value. Just, I mean, it only takes one shared core value, but I mean, all of us have several. So we're in good company when we have a community of like minded. So, yeah. And I love that about Elify. I think you guys absolutely nail that for people, the support and the amplification. You guys are just really getting going too.
Yeah, yeah, I think, that's something that you may have identified, that it's how we think a little bit different. We want to do things a little bit different. We're not here saying, sell us your firstborn to be
Mhm.
able to know the secret. It's we're all working the secret together and saying, hey, here's a hurdle that you may have experienced that I did as well. That this is what I did to get over it, or over under through whatever it is. That
Mhm.
this is what was accomplished by being able to do this.
Yeah.
And it happens within the community. It happens within the community of people implementing some of the solutions that are provided through our micro technologies. Again, they're focused on helping you get your message out there
Yeah.
and building a network, and being able to refer business to each other, because that's what a growing economy is
Yeah.
when we're in this together, helping others drive resources to other people, and not putting barriers on it from the aspect of
Yeah.
high cost. You can only be a part of it if you're within the know type thing.
Yeah.
We're different in that everyone should be able to attain it, and be able to
Yeah.
join the community. So we,
Yeah.
we love that aspect.
It's the easiest thing to do is to actually share other people. Is like share other people's products and services, but you have to get to know them and you have to be open to having the conversation and networking. So I actually think it's easier to introduce other people to each other sometimes than it is for me to go up and say hi. Uh, don't know why that is, but it's when you understand people and you listen more than you talk, um, then you can really start to see who it is they're looking for and who would be a compliment and all those things. And then it just makes the kind of the matchmaking really easy. So yes, Elify Shuffle does that beautifully. And then you guys have tons of support too behind the scenes. I don't think we've talked about that. We've talked a little bit about it, but why don't you tell everybody about the support that you have behind the brand too, and where
Right.
people can get support?
Support behind
Yeah.
the brand is we do live trainings
Mhm.
every day of the work week, Monday through Friday. We do what's called a sprint plan. If you don't have your week planned out, you're sort of putting yourself behind the eight ball. We set down and say, this is sort of a goal for the week, at least from us as a business at Elify, and how that can proliferate down to individuals within the community, and say, okay, these are some things that I can work towards for this week in my business.
Mhm.
Getting information out, and then doing my follow-ups and inviting them, and building the community. We do that every Monday. Then we have a deep dive tech training with our master trainer, Kathy Inman, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central. By being a user of the solution, you get access to every one of these trainings. And I mean, her expertise on the application is second to none. There's a lot of times she'll reach out to me and be like, did you know it can do this? And I say yes, but I did not. Um, that's just how sometimes our development works.
Wait,
Wednesday
what time are we at? Because we got to tell her to watch this part.
night, exactly noon my time, 1 p.m. her time. So gotta watch this
Mhm.
to come back. Wednesday, we get an opportunity to jump on here in the influencer group with Danielle, and just uh, give you some information about what our community is about, and what we're working towards, and how more and more people being involved in this really can be part of that map that a lot of people are looking for to reach the success. Every Thursday, my business partner, and I jump on and we do a mastermind conversation. And the conversation today really trickles into what this topic of the week is that we'll be covering tomorrow, is that your message, and making sure you're curating the right message, and that it's you have enough conviction and you're committed to creating that message and getting it out there. And then, that's ultimately what you have to do, is once you have it, is you got to share it.
Yep.
And then Friday, we wrap up every week with what's called Friday with the Founders. And it's more of a live Q&A. You got questions. You want to know how to do something. You want to learn more about our partnership program and how that works. We get into more depth on that on Fridays at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. And those are all live. They're streamed in our YouTube channel. So, there's another support element, is our YouTube channel, is Elify. If you subscribe to that, you should be receiving notifications anytime we go live. We have, I believe, we keep it at the previous year of videos are kept in there. So there's essentially 52 videos of every day of the week happening that are available there. We have FAQs, we have a help desk, we have supports, the support email that people can reach out to as well. So those are the types of things. I get emails, I get texts all the time. If I can jump on the call, if I have the bandwidth, I do it. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you've been with us since inception. That's just one thing we want to put out there. I was talking with a guy the other day who was talking about, we used to do a training every week, and then we moved it to every month, and now we do it every quarter because we just didn't see the value. It's like a little bit different. We want to make sure, even if it's one thing, if we're helping one person that day, then we've accomplished what we wanted to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of value in what you guys are. There's a lot of value in it. I think it's definitely rare. And I'm sure, like, one of the great things about who you guys are serving and how you're supporting them is that there's probably an endless supply of questions. And with those questions comes different perspectives. So I always look at it as, like, it's not just a win for people that we're serving, but it's a win for us as the owners, as the people who are doing the hot seat coaching or the implementation or the instruction. It's also a win for us because we get to see how other people think. And when we can see how other people think and how they're receiving our information and asking questions, and we can make adjustments, or we can get bigger ideas, and we can create more innovation for you guys. You guys can think of new solutions that the shuffle or the tap, the other product, Tap by Elify, how that can solve these problems. It's actually one of the best things that you guys are doing for your company. Maybe not known, but I mean, those different perspectives, those questions, they end up making a big difference if you look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. I mean, we wanted to be a disruptive platform from the aspect of a positive connotation to disruption, is we wanted to provide something that allowed people to, again, go back to reaching success, that there is a path, there is no secret. It's going to take work, but implementation, like you had mentioned, is something that once you join, that's sort of your own ask to yourself, is implementing it so you can start going down the path of reaching whatever success, significance, goals, milestones you're looking to attain in your. See, people, it's in their personal lives as well that are utilizing this, and in their professional lives. I mean, it is every walk of life. We are seeing can accept this application, accept this community in, and are seeing positive results happening.
Yeah. I mean, positive, I would say absolutely for disruption for you guys. Absolutely. So guys, thanks for joining us. I'm just gonna cut us off here. I think we're past the hour. So I know you got meetings, so I want to make sure that I get you to your meetings on time, or maybe a few minutes late. But guys, if you are loving what Guy Tuell is sharing about Elify, and if you're interested in trying it out, and if you know people that you can share it with, by the way, that makes you an influencer, we'd love for you to join our 3 month influencer program. And so we've been gearing up with some of our influencers, and they're just about ready to get this out there. In fact, next week we've got a big launch, I would say, a biggish launch with one of our influencers. And so come and join us. Look in the comments, because I'm going to start putting it in the comments for visibility's sake, because all of these algorithms don't like it in the title. So just look below over the video, whether you're here in the Facebook group, looking on Facebook, looking on LinkedIn, or in our LinkedIn group, just look at the comments below and we'll have that link for you to come in and apply. It's just a simple Google form. Should take you no more than 2 minutes. I tried to keep it simple so that we're working with Elify here, so we got to keep it simple. And then in you go. And once you're in, then you start getting emails and invitations from both Elify and Influence Builder. So, but yes, go ahead and conclude us, Guy.
I love these opportunities to be able to speak, and hopefully it resonates with individuals who are watching this who want to take a look. Again, 3 months free to be able to utilize the premium solution and service and come into the fold with the community and see what's attainable and see what can be accomplished. To that point, if it's not you, maybe you know who, and invite them in. To the influencer aspect, or being able to know that we have a partnership program, it can be very potentially lucrative with the right connections and bringing the right people into the fold, because we all have influence, whether it's to one or to millions. We all have a way of communicating that can encourage other people to take a look. So with that, I appreciate this all the time, to be able to have conversations with you, Danielle, and within this group. And we just encourage everyone to take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. Me as well. It's always fun with you and with AER, because you guys are the real deal. So that's part of what makes what I do fun. I always like it. I like my guys that are authentic, and they like to have a good time, and they're very informative. So it's always good for everyone else to experience that. So thank you for joining us. And guys, again, look in the comments this time. And of course, if you can't find it, because sometimes they get buried in the comments, you can just email me at info@influencebuilder.com. I will send you the link, I promise, and I'll do it fast because I'm a fast implementer. So, but we'll talk to you guys next week, and next week we'll have ER on here too.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one.